We are the Mighty Fall. I know we're episode 7.
Yes, and the name of the show is
Rock Bottom.
Rock Bottom with the Mighty Fall. That is the name of the show, right? Oh my God, I didn't know the name.
You know
of the
what's funny
show.
though? We're settled on that, right? We didn't do Rock Bottom with the boys. We
I
settled
think
on
it's too late. I think we have title cards.
Yeah, it's just Rock Bottom.
All right, I'm just making sure we settled on that one. Okay.
Yes, we are. We have been settled since day one. It's okay. It's okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Zach, the bass player.
Hi, we're new. They don't listen to this for intelligence.
No, they don't.
No,
There's
they don't.
nothing intelligent about this podcast.
They listen to our charming personalities. That's why.
You're what?
What do you mean what? My charming
what?
person? Shut the fuck up. I don't care about the law where they're going to swear.
All right, Nick, kick us off.
Hello, everyone. This is NPR, National Public Radio, and well, you see, I'm going to get really close to the microphone, and we're an ASMR channel now. And to be honest, I thought I was going to have something to say here. And
Oh my God, I'm over it. Move on.
It's gone. Anyway, I don't know. What are we talking about? I don't know. What have we been listening to, boys?
All right, I'll go first. So I have been listening to Andrew WK.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
No. So there's a reason why. So way back in my heyday, I was a huge. That's a good one. I was a huge Madden fan. Madden, and was it Madden football? Whatever's on, whatever.
John Madden football.
Exactly. So
John Madden football.
You know what's funny too, Nick? Remember you asked about soundtracks a couple of podcasts ago?
John Madden football.
I figured out a proper one to give you. It is the Madden 2003 soundtrack. It starts with Andrew WK.
I'm going to pull that up in a second, but I
is-
want to show you guys something before I do that.
Go ahead.
Keep
but
talking.
It is awesome. I love that soundtrack. I'll still go back into it. In fact, a lot of my deeper cuts came from that album. I think Madden 04 Andrew had Event Sevenfold with
Unholy Confessions.
Thank you. No, the chapter 4.
Chapter 4,
yeah. So actually, a lot of my musical tastes, in a way, came from that sort of deal. But no, I was listening to Andrew WK, and I came to a epiphany that we should definitely cover an Andrew WK song.
I pitched that forever ago.
And
Which song?
probably Party Hard.
She's beautiful.
Either
Oh,
one,
that's
either
good.
Party Hard or She Is Beautiful. I because I really liked.
Both good options.
The fuck is the other one? Shit.
Don't think too hard now.
Hang on. I literally just passed it on Spotify. I'm gonna keep looking at my phone. Apparently,
No shit.
Eh?
Look at
there he
that.
is.
Eh?
There's another picture for you.
Yeah.
It's that's me and Andrew WK.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
I've seen
Andrew
that
WK. You'll see
Yeah.
that pop up somewhere, I believe.
Nice fella.
Ready,
He was a nice guy.
Loves caffeine.
ready
as
to
much
die?
As me.
Is that the name of the song? Ready to Die?
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's the one. But that one has like the piano intro and stuff, so I don't know if we wanted to go that far. But
I mean, anyone where I just think Party Hard. I mean, we call ourselves a party band in a way. So I mean, what do you think back of the Peanut Gallery? Is that a good idea or?
Sure.
Okay.
thanks.
Okay.
So there you go. So, but no,
you know-
I would say Andrew WK. But just so you check it out. Now, I am not musically trained. I am very much an idiot with this sort of thing. Is he in a major scale when he plays his songs?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty happy sounding.
Okay,
I only really know that record, but I don't think that a lot of the stuff that he does is like it's like a sadder minor key or anything.
Okay, that's what I meant. Okay, so I'm
that
trying to
boy.
sound intelligent.
See the smile that he has on his face in this picture?
Yep.
That's the smile that he has on his face at the entire time you see him live. It's that smile right there. That's what he looks like.
having a
He's
great
doing
time.
like the little Richard, like standing at the piano type of
Yeah.
thing, and just like swinging his hips and shit. It's like really funny. Killer live show though. They're real fucking good.
Yeah, I would love to see him live.
Did you see them with the Zach?
No,
When we, not you, the other Zach. When we went to that Warped Tour in Atlantic City.
I was there, but I don't think I saw him.
Yeah, I can't remember if you actually saw them with us or not. I don't know where the hell you were at that point, but
Yeah, I saw him a couple times. Fucking great.
yeah, real good live.
Most,
No, wait, maybe
most
I
of
did.
his band, not anymore.
I think I was in the crowd. Yeah.
I can't think of where else you would have been at that point because I think we were waiting for the Used or something. I don't remember. What a hell of a time that was, though.
look at the comment. Dave Grohl looks good.
A couple of the
So-
guys in his band, Obituary guys.
Yes, the original drummer
Yes.
was
Yeah. The Tardy brothers.
Thank you,
Well,
yes.
Well,
Oh,
shit.
that's Don Tardy.
Yep,
Yes.
the drummer was. Yeah, actually, you see the music video for Party Hard. I can point him out.
I
say,
think
oh,
the whole
well,
band, actually, minus the singer, was his live band for a while. That
Probably
was,
the early days.
I was, I was realizing today when I left the house earlier, as I was wearing an obituary dad hat, an obituary T-shirt, and I am still wearing obituary gym shorts, which we call the Tampa tuxedo.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's
Fucking not on purpose
that
either. It was
status
like,
made me
oh
laugh
no,
earlier.
this is
That
just happening.
Yeah.
This is good.
that status made me laugh earlier. That was a good
Oh
one.
my god.
So, yeah, so Andrew WK, I would love to cover a song. Hopefully we'll do one soon. We'll have to convince Mike to do it, but we'll just force him
I've
to
been
do
trying to convince Mike to do Turbo Negro.
Yeah.
All my friends are dead.
Yep.
All my friends are dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that one would be killer.
Nice.
Banger tune. Love that one.
That would definitely be like a for us tune though, because I think
it would.
I don't think anybody in our crowd would actually know who Turbo Negro is. Maybe a couple of them,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
I think there's two guys who would know that.
probably.
I'd say for sure, and then everybody else would just be like, what the fuck is
Wow,
this?
this is a cool new song they wrote.
Yeah.
Which I mean, that song rocks, so I take the credit.
I'll take
but-
credit for that.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I'll take credit for that song. That's cool. I haven't really been listening to anything consistent. I've ever since I got that new Sin, I've been kind of just like focusing like on the Avenged guitar again.
Yeah.
So I guess Avenged, but like that's not been my only listen. So I haven't really been listening to anything like new or consistent. Actually, I lied. I did start checking out the new Sum 41 record.
I didn't know they had a record.
They did. They just dropped it. It's the last record, and then they're doing the last tour, which we're going to in a couple of weeks. And it's actually a pretty good album to go out on. I got about halfway through it, but it was pretty good.
Cool.
I gotta say, I was into it. That's all I got.
I've been bumping this band Trap Them that I love, but
I
I
was gonna say fucking Trapped.
no.
We were gonna. This whole podcast was going down the fucking drain if you just said Trapped
Back
willingly.
off. I'll take. Sorry.
Pants down, I'll suck you off. Anyway. No, trap them, short for Trap Them and Kill Them. Great fucking crusty, like kind of grind adjacent band. Sick. Fucking great band. Record called Blissfucker. Fucking great. Incredible. If
That's
you
what
like blast beats and you like Boss HM2s, then that's a record
That's
you
what you sent me, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you
I
want,
heard it.
and
Okay.
if you
That's what I
want
thought.
incomprehensible vocals,
Yes. That's why I picked
then
them on
yes,
really quick.
that is
What was the other big
the one.
grindcore band that was from the early 80s, late 80s, early 90s? They were
Napalm
big.
Death.
Thank you. Yes. How did I forget that?
Love them. Great. Still good.
Yeah.
Still good.
What's
Not
another?
a grindcore guy, but I will take Napalm Death.
What's another one? The Melvins. That's another.
Melvins is not a grindcore band.
Melvins
No,
is
but
grunge.
no,
Like
no,
a sludge band, kind of.
No,
No,
no.
but
Who am I
what's
thinking of?
no? It's Napalm Death. Okay.
Helmet?
Yeah.
No,
I don't fucking know.
I don't know who the hell I'm thinking of then.
There was another one.
Thought it was the Melvins, but maybe I'm wrong.
Not a grindcore band.
No, not a
Be
grindcore.
crazy if they
No,
were.
grunge band.
Yeah, sure. More so, I would say. Adjacent,
Yeah,
at least.
something like that. Something like that.
Yeah.
You have this playlist pulled up. It looks like you want to do something with it.
Yes, actually, this did remind me of. This wasn't really planned, but it was just Spotify was open. I was putting a list together of songs where the band name drops themselves.
Why?
I was just realizing that there were a lot of them.
Wait, hold on.
This is what Nick does in his
hold
free
on.
time.
So you made a playlist where the band. Okay, I recognize. I see
So you're telling me
Metallica's
like
Whiplash.
in Skid Youth Gone Wild, they say Skid Row. Is that what you mean?
They do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in Whiplash and Metallica, they say you're
Yeah,
Metallica.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
Rammstein, there's a ton. I mean,
that's the name of the
there's like
fucking
a
song,
ton
yeah.
of but there's a bunch of other songs where they just say Rammstein.
Well, I mean, if you were as cool as they were, you'd do that too.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although actually, to tie it all in, one of the songs on the record we're going to be talking about in just a little while, one of the songs was going to be called "The Mighty Fall," which I
Oh, you put the stomp on that. 'cause-
stopped it.
Oh, we'll get into that after.
That was a hard veto. We pulled the plug on
Yeah.
that one. So we
No,
got
you pulled the plug on
yes.
that one.
I
don't
did.
say
I
we.
made it stop. So we got Whiplash, of course.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course.
yeah.
Never stop because we're Metallica. Again, this could have been like 100 of these as well, but Man of War.
Again, yeah.
Half of Man of War songs are just about how Man of War is cool,
yeah.
which
right.
is debatable.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
well, you're sitting in between two guys that are into power metal, so
I mean,
Enough, yeah.
I will say this: Man of War has a couple of good songs,
fair.
Fair.
and they're all called "All Men Play on 10."
They are not my favorite power metal band.
They are not.
I'll
No.
say that.
Yeah.
We got "Hell Yeah"
Oh,
by
that's-
Hell Yeah.
See, this song sucks right now.
That sucks.
See, I don't like that.
It's a
I don't
bad
like that
one.
band either.
Arrest is Perfect Circle.
Yep.
They name drop their own band, kind of.
Oh, my favorite one. I see it on the list. My favorite one.
Fight for your right to
No,
party.
no.
It's Mom, you're just
Fucking
jealous.
Iron Maiden by Iron Maiden
Yes,
on the
sir.
album Iron Maiden. That's my favorite one.
Toxic Waltz, Exodus.
Exodus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
want
Body
us to do
counts in the
that.
house.
Hell yeah,
I
dude.
still want us to do that just
I-
because.
Yeah.
He stopped me. I tried.
Yeah, well, it wasn't gonna be called like the album wasn't be called The Mighty Falls.
Yes, it was.
It was.
Yeah, oh yeah.
For
It's awful.
Yes,
very
it was.
quickly.
Okay, well, maybe not on the first album, but like on the next one or the one after.
We'll just
if
put,
we're
like-
still doing
No.
stuff.
We'll just put like an Avenged or a Weezer and just do like a colored album cover, and it'll just be that color album, but it'll really be called The Mighty Fall because I want to do that so
you want
fucking
that
bad.
you want that self-titled so bad,
Dude, I
we'll
don't
get
know.
there.
Listen, I don't care so much about the self-titled album. I just want that 3-layer bit. I think that's so funny.
We don't even have a good name.
So?
I love how we're trashing our own
It's
band.
not good.
name.
fucking-
Well, there
who
are no
fucking
okay,
cares?
and I will stand by this. And here's my hot take, which is not that hot. There are no good band names anymore.
No,
They've
they're
all been
not.
taken.
We just
Everybody took them when Black Sabbath became a band,
fair, but we so
True.
now we
and
just
everything
have
else after that has been downhill.
to, we just got to pick good bad ones.
What else we got here? Rollin', Limp
Oh
Bizkit.
my god!
Oh, yeah.
Roll.
It's not the only.
roll,
I'm sure
roll.
there's
Yeah.
more, but that is the Limp Bizkit song I could think of in the moment. Minor Threat by
Yep.
Minor Threat, Motorhead by Motorhead,
Yeah, Bad Company.
Bad Company by Bad Company. Ugh. Everybody Have Fun Tonight by Wang Chung. A little bit of an outlier.
I don't know if I know that.
that
I don't
you,
know
you,
that either.
You know it.
Okay.
I'm not going to play it because copyrights. But,
fair.
But you've heard this song before.
Very
It's
good.
it's an '80s tune.
So what's the reason you're making this list?
I was just thinking about how many there
ADHD?
are, and there's
Holy
maybe
shit.
maybe some
You
maybe
got
some undiagnosed shit. But
bro. You got some spare time. In your
I was
hands, man. Good for you.
I don't really,
I
but
know you don't. That's why
I was thinking about it one day. This is about
Nick's taking calls from 7-Eleven, and the next thing you know, he's making a playlist with
Yeah.
Iron Maiden by Iron Maiden. On
How
the
much
album Iron
of these
Maiden.
can I come up with in the next 5 minutes? I guess there's probably some. Guar songs. I don't know. Can you think of any other ones? I don't know.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. The Metallica ones, the Wood Splash.
I feel like there's a Green Day one, but I don't know. I think they have a song called Green Day, but on like 103.9 maybe,
I mean, I'm sure you
like
can
way back, but I don't know if they actually say Green Day in it.
I mean, I'm sure you can just Google it and you can find it pretty quick.
Oh, you probably find a whole ass list. of
yeah,
them, but
exactly. So that's fine.
There's a few. So anyway, that was something.
Nice.
There you go.
If you didn't think about that before, now you have.
There you go. There's a random factoid of the day.
I guess.
I guess. Something
I
like
really, I want to do that so fucking bad. Me and Caruso are going to push that on the next record. I swear to God.
that. Wait, he wants to do that too?
You just said it, yeah.
Or the album or song is For an Elaborate Ruse.
Where the fuck did that come from?
I'm going to give you guys a second, and then I'll explain it. Okay.
I'm about to say I don't.
Put the band name and that together.
Fuck you. Absolutely fuck you. Turn the mic off.
That wasn't my idea.
Thank you.
A friend of mine, James, said that, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I like that actually.
Thank you.
Is it the James I think it is?
Yeah.
Of course it is. Yeah, all right. That
tracks.
tracks.
Outstanding. Anyway,
Anywho,
I guess that's it. I guess we're just talking about Look the Part now.
I guess. Yeah, I mean,
So-
unless Caruso wants another hot take from us for posterity, but because I can throw a good one in there.
Yeah.
Not really a hot take. It's just something I like to do.
Okay.
Well, you know what's funny too. So hopefully he'll actually contribute. Well, not contribute, always contributes, but I would like to hear some of his insight from the album too, because he was also here for our first EP that we're going to be talking about for today.
No.
Okay,
Okay.
thank
Fourth
you,
wall breaks. Thank you.
Nailed it.
thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah. So,
All right.
So I'll give you my
go for
shitty person thing that I like to do. I like to make Swifties feel like they're lesser human beings.
Okay,
How so?
Just try to make them feel as dumb as possible. I mean, they're basically like fucking robots. But and I'm not talking like, Taylor Swift is okay. Like, oh yeah, I listen to her every now and again. No, I'm talking like the people that like wake up and like look up her blood type, like those fucking people. Lesser human beings. It's like humans, animals, plants, Swifties.
I'm afraid of.
I'm afraid of anybody
Those
with that kind of dedication. That's scary.
I don't know, but
I wouldn't even want people
It's
to
like
like
the people
our
that
band
released
that much.
the friggin' sleep token addresses.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like that's fucked.
Like
Fucked.
Punisher,
but-
weirdo.
but-
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Hate it.
But on
Hate
the flip side, though, I mean, there's some really deranged Slayer fans as well. I mean, there's people that fucking
Yeah, and they're all
carve-
fucking weirdos.
and
I don't
they're
want
all-
anyone to
that's
like
on
our
both
band
ends,
that much.
yeah.
One of my favorite concert stories ever. I was at Mayhem. I don't remember what year it was. 2014 maybe with Slayer or 15, something like that. I don't remember. and I was just in the seats, and lights go down, no big deal. The guy behind me gives it the usual Slayer scream. Next thing I know, naked.
Okay.
Seconds.
There goes my hero.
Yep, I've never seen a person get naked so fast.
Look as she goes.
That was a
Damn.
fucking time. Just flapping in the wind to Slayer. It was a time.
I think someone told us many years ago when we were playing. I don't remember what show it was that we should play with our shirts off. Someone asked, "It's like
Who would want to see that?"
I said the same thing. I was like, "You don't want to see any part of that. We're very large men."
That's bad advice. Don't tell me what to do ever.
I'm just saying.
Your people don't have good ideas.
No one's getting free boobs from me, man.
You got to pay for them, right? Mm-hmm. Touch
Yeah.
it. Hey, touch is going to cost you.
Pay for the boobs.
What was that from? Look, it's for free. Oh, Will Ferrell.
I don't fucking know.
No idea.
Deuce Bigelow?
No,
That's Rob-
Ricky Bobby. Is that Ricky Bobby?
I fucking
Deuce
I don't know.
Bigelow's fucking.
Yes, you're right. Rob Schneider.
Thank
Rob
you.
Schneider. Yeah.
Yep.
He's with all the
Adam Sandler's friend.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of, I'm sorry. Okay, one last thing. Did you hear they're making a new Happy Gilmore 2?
Fucking why?
Why?
I love that film.
I know,
but
but
why do we need a second?
I don't want to see a sequel 20
What's he
years
gonna do?
later.
Play golf again?
That's fine. Shooter McGavin. Who's the actor for Shooter McGavin? I don't even know his name. I still call him Shooter McGavin.
He's great. I can't
He
remember
is
his
great.
name.
They have Tiger Woods as like Trump's son.
I was just about to say, what are they gonna have Tiger Woods as a
Yep.
fucking celebrity?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
And then who's this hot girl? Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweetie.
Okay, she's like she'll be in the film as well. I guess she's really hot. I
Well,
don't
she needs
know.
some kind of redemption after Madam Web, but we won't go there.
Oh, she was in. Okay, I didn't
Yeah,
watch it.
yeah.
You probably did.
Yeah, and
So, okay.
I haven't watched it yet, but boy, I would when we inevitably move to a movie review podcast. Boy, I don't ever want to touch that movie again.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't want to watch
We
that.
still got to do
I
drunk.
don't want to watch either of the movies that are being discussed right now. at all.
Nick.
I love Marvel movies, and I still don't want to see Madam Web.
Nick.
Straight butt.
We still got to do Drunken Cats. We talked about this.
bro.
We can't do it
Brother.
without Ben.
Yeah, we got to get loaded and watch Cats one of these days.
So,
yes,
so
holy
for
fuck.
our audience here that they don't know, many years ago, a few years ago, whatever, we were talking about watching movies, and you watched Cats with
Yeah.
Julia.
I went to go see Cats
Okay.
in the theater, and I caused such a scene. I had to be shushed a lot because it was it was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
It's hysterical. It's so bad.
So it's like it's the worst movie I've ever seen in my life all together, and like I've seen more garbage than probably most, right? But it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. If you haven't seen it, it is incredible.
My favorite part of the movie is when they lose their VFX budget.
Yes.
Halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you literally see the VFX just shit the bed.
It starts
halfway
looking
through the movie.
It starts looking like an expensive PS2 game about halfway through the movie.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's hysterical. Because for what it's worth, for what it's worth, the VFX in the beginning of the movie not terrible. They're not good, but they're not
No,
terrible.
they're not good.
But once you see like it basically take a huge blueprint stage back, it's hysterical.
If I could go back in time and kill one guy, it would be Andrew Lloyd Webber.
No, leave him out of this. He didn't have any. He may have created Cats, but he didn't have anything to do with that movie.
He wrote all that horrid music.
That's true. I will give that is not a good soundtrack.
It's
but
borderline anti-music. That is like awful.
All right, so no one tell me more. I've never seen it. So I've been here.
Oh, I forgot.
I've never seen it. Have you
man.
seen it back there? He said no. So
Damn.
I don't know anything.
Shit,
I
that
don't want to
sounds
know
like
nothing.
a band bonding moment.
I want at least 12 of these in my system before I watch it.
No, that's a hard liquor night, my dude. I promise.
Oh, is that
Oh,
that okay?
yeah, we
yeah.
got absolutely fucking hammered when we
Oh,
watched that with
We'll
at
make
your
sure,
house.
maybe we'll do it Ben and Taylor's whenever they get settled.
yeah.
They'll probably appreciate that. Friends of ours.
Oh, what a terrible thing to do in their new house.
We will be imposing
No,
ourselves.
I'll be breaking the cherry, all right. So
All right, moving
All
on.
right, I
right.
guess it's time now. We avoided this long enough.
We're talking about people that these
it's
people
not
don't know.
that bad.
Well-
these guys, I was okay. Whatever,
All
go
right,
ahead.
it's not that bad, but you know what? I'd much rather talk about filmed on location, which we already did. But
So we are talking.
Here it is.
Yep. So we are going to be talking about. So for those who don't know, filmed on location, that is our recently released LP, was actually not our first actual release of music. It is right here, if I can point at. That is our EP. Look the Part was released in 2019.
Sure was.
Thank you. And it was recorded in Narragansett, Rhode Island, I forgot what the studio was called.
Auburn Recording Studio.
Yes, with our producer Brad. We brought his name up before. I can't say his last name. Brad.
Thibodeau.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brad. I still love it.
Shout out Brad.
Shout out Brad.
Thibby.
Yes, if
Brad
he's
to be the
listening,
boy.
We love you, man.
Saved our band with one simple sentence.
Yes, he
Yep.
did. Yes, he did. That's where "Don't Be Sorry, Don't Be Better" come from. Was from him.
Don't be sorry, don't be better.
Did I just say that?
That's what you said.
Don't
Already
be sorry,
off to a good
just
start.
be better. But good thing you were close.
Just quit.
Exactly, pretty much. So I guess for the start, we'll start with Andrew because this is kind of your baby in some sort of way, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I guess we should probably go all the way back to the beginning for this one because that's kind of what we have to do, right?
Yeah, same
Cringe
here.
or classic?
Yes.
Cringe.
Yes.
So to go all the way back,
How far back we going?
to when it started,
When did it start?
2014.
So you started writing this record back in 24. Well, I mean, some of the songs in 2014.
Yeah, most of
Holy
them.
shit!
Most of them, yeah, because so this was originally written for my band prior to this, which is called Behind the Silence. We talked about them in our last Cringer Classic bit, and we talked about how we did Remember Who You Are Part 1, and we never got to a Part 2. Congratulations, look, the part was supposed to be Part 2. And at the time, I had a falling out with the person who played drums at the time. We're good now. But at the time, we had a falling out, and so we didn't wind up continuing, which is when drummer Zach was recruited. We started working through that material, and then the guitar player that we had originally had, which was my cousin Brett.
We'll talk about it more at some point.
We have to in this.
We have to, yeah.
One. He brought me "Familiar Place," which is the first song that was written for this record.
First, we're recording too as a single.
Yep. And I think it was originally meant to be a Behind the Silence single, but we didn't have Ryan, and Caruso, you played drums on the single, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
So how did you and so just for backstory, I came in the previous was I really in Behind the Silence technically?
No.
So technically no.
No, because we changed the name right around the time that you.
No, but
you came in.
we changed the name January 1st, 2018. I was in the band.
Yeah, because we did that like really cheesy fucking video.
Yes, please don't look that up.
Yeah.
That we should definitely delete that from YouTube. It's probably hidden somewhere.
I think I did delete it.
Thank God.
Yeah, I think
All
it's
right,
buried
good job.
somewhere. Yeah, I think I still have it on my computer, but I think it's buried.
Don't do
Yeah,
it.
we did that really shitty video.
Yeah. But how did you and Zach meet? So because you met Caruso first, he got into the band before me.
Well, I mean, I met you first. I've known you for almost 20 years.
Okay, that's fair too.
I've known you for almost 20 years.
Scratch that. How did you and Caruso get together?
So, my fiance and his girlfriend, were best friends, and he was dating her, and she brought him to the house one day for either a wrestling event or just to play Smash and like get to know us or something. Whatever the fuck it was, and he broke the ice by bringing me a case of Angry Orchard. I do remember that.
that.
Yeah, he walked in with a case of Angry Orchard. I was sitting on the floor, and he just dropped it in front of me. He goes, "Here you go." And that was my introduction to Zach.
That's a sign of a good friend right there. There you go.
That
Nice.
tracks.
And so at the time, I was still kind of in the falling out with Ryan, and I don't remember if it was Tay or Karina that suggested like, hey, we should, why don't you see if Zach's interested? And so I did, and I sent him the Behind the Silence stuff, and I said, hey, take a look at this, see if you can learn it. And he was. I don't think we ever actually finished the process of him learning it. I think we got maybe a couple of songs in. And then at that point, we started working on like Familiar Place and kind of ditching the other stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's really what it was. It was just, a connection between the girls, and one of them suggested, hey, see if Zach wants to do this. And he said yes. And then not long after, he went on the Tarby tour with you.
Yep, I dragged him off for about a month.
Yeah, it was like right after too. Like he was in the process of learning our stuff, and you were like, "So I'm gonna take him." Like,
we didn't.
motherfucker.
We hadn't met yet. We didn't know each other.
No, we didn't.
I didn't know.
it was
just a little bit.
It was
there.
a silent steal.
Yeah, like it was this fucking dude.
It was like, you absolute motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, here we go, another fucking drummer that I know is gonna get pulled off by a touring band. Fucking great. And he came back and brought you with him. which is fucking pretty.
Yep.
I mean, that worked out.
Yep.
But to the point, that was a lot of these songs I had started or finished. Familiar Place was given to me by Brett, and when he quit the band, he told me I could keep it because he wrote pretty much all of it. I don't think I added anything to it. I think he gave me pretty much the finished product.
Yep.
The Collapse.
We wrote that but we wrote that while I was in the band. So just so you know, the only songs that I remember that was already established when I first started was Familiar. Hold on.
I'm about to say, please pull up the track listing because I don't even fucking remember that.
Back here. So
Chasing Clarity.
So Chasing Clarity, Familiar Place, Water's Edge. You wrote. I guess whatever we wrote. Legend of Tyrants. We wrote, and The Collapse. We wrote. Those last three were the four.
I don't think that's true because I definitely had Legends and Tyrants prior to that.
Oh, that riff, the do no. You had that.
Yeah,
one?
I definitely had that prior to
help
that.
with the chorus. We can go into that later.
I know. Yeah, we can try to break it down song by song, and I'll see if I
That'll
can
be
remember
quick.
like what influenced them and stuff.
It's only 5 songs.
Because at this point, I don't really remember. But I mean, I guess we'll just start with that to save our time. One thing I remember for sure is around the time that I wrote Chasing Clarity, Crown the Empire had just dropped their Retrograde album, and they had a song called Zero, and I really liked the way that the song kind of started with like a snare intro, and it was just kind of like a cool like hype 'em up intro, which is where that idea initially came from.
Yeah, you talk about the drum intro. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely wound up having a totally flip of the coin feel by the time we actually finished it, but that was like the general thing that like got the wheels turning.
Mm-hmm.
Truthfully, I don't even remember how most of that song sounds.
Yeah. I know you hated that. I know. See, I just remembered random dumb shit like that. So we played these songs for so long before.
I know,
we
and then I
started.
immediately blocked them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Once we said fuck it, we're done with this record. I still can play a couple of them.
Oh, I fully unlearned everything.
I can
There you
still
go.
play
Can
pieces.
Can you play anything? Do you remember any of the drum tracks? He gives a shrug. So the reason why I remember Chasing Clarity so much, so live, not on the record, our previous vocalist that we have talking about so much, Eric Eeyore, I had to sing like half the chorus. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that wasn't in the
I'd love to
recording.
say yes.
No, it was just me, but I'm not going to. I won't do that to you guys. I'm literally on stage blowing my voice. You would hear me after every show just gasping.
Shot.
My
yeah, you were
voice because
toast.
I'm screaming. I'm not trained to anything, which I didn't mind. That's the reason why I hate singing or doing vocal takes because I'm not trained. Probably should learn how to do that at some point.
It's all in the diaphragm.
I know. Well, this was 6 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
But no, or 7 years ago, whatever it was. So, but that's why that whole process got me nervous of doing any other quick little calling back and forth sort of vocal stuff. Don't let me do any leads, for God's sakes, please. So,
yeah, like I said, that song. I aside from the intro, I forget where the rest of that song kind of came from. Familiar, we got from Brett.
yeah. So Brett wrote the full. I mean, he wrote all. You put a little the breakdown part, right? Or did Brett do that?
No, I don't. Nick didn't put much.
No, I'm saying you.
No.
In the recording, you put the feedback
yeah,
stuff.
there was there was like,
Like this, you
more
did like a
kind
lot of the sound design stuff.
Yeah, the really I think contribution wise there was maybe like on Collapse like the slidey kind of like octave part was me.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it felt like it's just always that thing of just like there's like a hole here like some like,
yeah.
what's
I
like
remember
missing
sitting in the basement doing
like
that.
this needs like something up over the top of it, nothing crazy. And I think with Legends, we kind of had a thought of like, how fun would it be if we did like a dueling solo thing?
Yeah,
Because
the
there
back
was
and
a
forth.
section for guitar solos, and when we're talking about like the recording aspect of it, I mean that was a fucking nightmare.
I still have that video on my phone. It's so fucking funny. It's so funny.
I was watching a lot of Shred DVDs, and that was like I got a little perhaps a bit penisy about
Penisy.
like I'm gonna do a cool one. I'm gonna do something cool, and this is like fine because that's one of my favorite parts of the record. Even though, again, if you have come to know anything about me, dear viewer, it's that I don't give one hot flying fuck about guitar solos. Period.
You've said it every time it's come up so far.
I do not, but I do think that is such a cool section because it is the closest or the most clear on this record how different as players we are.
That's true.
Like the way that we're kind of coming at it, like with your part, it's kind of like your part at the beginning. It's like there's some Hammety stuff. There's like wah. There's like kind of
that Petrucci
doing the kind of the alt. You're picking everything, doing the kind of like the scaled sort of run stuff, and then I just came in with like I had a Telecaster with like 12s on it.
Yeah, you do like the legato rips.
Doing like kind of the taps and legato stuff, and like not picking a lot, and kind of doing these big sort of the big bend stuff.
Yeah.
And it's so different when you listen to the two of us back to back. It's very fun. It's not the same, again, that kind of thing of like if it was two guys coming from the same school, and it's true to this day with this band, I think, is if it was two guys who sound the same, this wouldn't be like any good.
Right, yeah. It would just yeah.
It would be, or it would at least be like less interesting.
So just to clarify the viewer, I don't think we said it earlier. So the EP is vastly different sounding than what Film No Location is.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said,
song to song, it sounds like different bands on each track.
100%. Yeah.
Not that it's a bad thing. It just.
But you know what though? That was my type of writing back then.
I
didn't
know.
like.
I
would
bad.
basically just like hear a song and be like inspired by the song, and be like, oh cool, let me like see if I can make something that fits like that. Like
yeah.
I remember like on the Behind the Silence record, we had a song called Brothers by Blood, and that song was like heavily inspired by I think Burn Motherfucker by Five Finger Death Punch.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like I was definitely in that realm of like not writing super cohesive stuff, which was fine. Realistically, it kind of showed like a wider range of things, but it was also kind of done to a fault because there was like really no consistency in the record.
Right?
No, there wasn't.
It was maybe a little bit of like undertone.
Yeah, I think in as much as like production style and just like the guys playing it.
Yeah,
it is a little more. It's a bit more cohesive than if you take all those songs on their face, but it is still. It's this thing where it doesn't necessarily sound like we're honing in on anything in particular. It just sounds like
we kind of just throwing stuff at a dartboard.
It sounds like a few songs.
Well, we were still finding our style. I think.
Yeah.
The collection of songs, at least I picked up on, was if you take some of those songs, a couple of them, I still think you could put on films, you re-record it, make it, put a little of your twang in on and stuff like that. It could probably still be on a film record. At least for me.
I only feel that way about Legends and the Collapse.
That's exactly.
Those are the only two that I think would
say. Yeah, exactly.
Only because of the more upbeat, faster paced feeling of the Collapse, but also the groove of Legends. But realistically, that groove is what inspired Black Blanket.
Yeah, exactly. So I was going to say,
Legends and Blanket is just a better version of that.
Yeah,
it is a better version.
100%,
yeah. But you still have, I see this record as correct me if I'm wrong, from the Encyclopedia of Pantera over here.
Yes,
this
brother.
was our, I don't want to say our Cowboys, because you have to remember, Cowboys to Vulgar, that was a hell of a transition.
It was.
If you really think about it.
I agree.
There was some, don't get me wrong, I love Cowboys from Hell and Domination and all that sort of stuff. But then when they went to Vulgar, it wasn't a 180, but it was like a 120. It was a pretty sharp turn.
Yeah, it was a pretty heavy pick.
I would like to think we kind of did that while retaining some kind of core.
Yeah, they went out of the 80s and into the future.
We kind of. I like that we did the same thing with this.
You could definitely see the through line of from the Behind the Silence record to Look the Part to Filmed on Location. Like you can definitely see the through line of like I am definitely in all three parts of the project. You know what I mean? But that, like I said, Look the Part was something that was written for a band that no longer existed. If you, like, it was more so like if you listen to Remember Who You Are and then you listen to Look the Part, you can very much more closely hear the resemblance in the tracks in the way that they were written because they were originally written for that band. Even when it comes down to the drum tracks, and because Ryan and Zach are two completely different drummers. So
who wrote the drum tracks? Was
did.
it you did, and then you just okay?
Yeah, I did, and then what happened was, like I said, Zach is definitely much more of like a meat and potato style drummer. Like he just really wants to kind of kill the beat and just have it be strong and driving. whereas Ryan was a lot more technical. He was a lot more like, quick little fills and like bell hits and like little things like that. So I had to, redefine the drum vibe of the song while I was basically learning who Caruso was. You know what I mean? Like, I was rewriting the drums as he was learning them, essentially, because I had to make them make sense for him, because I didn't want to like force him to do something uncomfortable, which is why we stopped learning the behind the silence stuff, because trying to watch him do like Forget Me Not, like I could tell like how uncomfortable he was, because it's just not his style.
Well, it was the same thing with, I never played bass before playing this record. I dabbled around and fucked around a little bit, but nothing like this. I mean, you were the most, and then Brett, that I guess Familiar Place, because on the last song of the album, we have the No Boundaries studio mix, which is the one that Brett is on.
That's
but
correct,
all four, the only two consistencies at that time was just you and Eeyore, because you and Eeyore played a decade plus together.
Yeah.
He was a new guy. I was a newer guy.
And then Nick was a fucking nobody. He just showed up and fucking...
Yeah, exactly.
And he showed up and brought us War Bride.
Yeah, but you what's interesting... but what you can hear on this record is, if you ask me, was 5 guys coming in together with a common ideology, but different... Okay.
A common goal and no idea how to get there.
So 2 + 2 = 4, but also 1 + 3, and 5 - 1. And 4 × 1. I think all of us are doing different math equations to get to the same goal.
Caruso got a kick out of that one.
Yeah,
I could do
you know
that.
what?
I'm a math minor.
That's
That's
actually
probably the smartest thing you've said on any of these episodes.
that's pretty well said, actually.
Hold on.
like
Before I say
that
those,
idea.
I have a degree, so I'm actually a very
Oh, stop
educated
it. You have a
person.
degree in meteorology.
I
Shut
have
the fuck
I have
up.
a minor in technical math. I will show you the goddamn diploma at home.
What the fuck is
put me over.
technical math?
I
You know
went
what?
to-
We're not doing this
Do
right
I
now.
went up to Calc 4?
We're not doing this right now.
That's right. Put me over, baby.
We're not doing this
All
right
go
now.
ahead.
Enough to count to 4, man.
Enough to count to 4. Yeah.
That's all you need to do as a musician, unless you're fucking Dream Theater.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Tool.
As we get the times off, 1, 2, 3. Fuck, all right, fuck.
Yeah.
So,
Instructions unclear. Dick caught in the ceiling fan.
Yeah.
yes.
But
that's the way I look at it.
But-
We were just getting to the right spot, different locations.
yeah. So, but the biggest thing was taking these tracks that were already written for a band that no longer existed
That's fair.
and trying to make them make sense for the band that was going to exist.
Yep.
And especially when it came down to Brett leaving,
Yep.
there was a small gap in time where we didn't have Nick. So now I'm thinking like, okay, well now I got to write these songs for one guitar.
Can we tell a story? Because Nick wasn't there. Of the we actually had an interview with a guitar player before him. What's his name? Rich.
I don't know if we have to tell that story.
Okay. No. All right. But we had some interviews with some players and
Colorful characters.
Yes.
colorful character, really nice people. But we're just very happy that Nick came.
We're happy
through.
we got Nick.
I know we told the story before and stuff like that. So,
But yeah, we did like the Craigslist ad thing, and it was fucking
Christ, so sad. I still love that.
New.
boy. Thank God Zach knew somebody.
There you go. Caruso.
But yeah, so
Zach
there was
Caruso, yeah.
So so there was a period in time where there was only one guitar player. So I'm thinking like, all right, well now I got to write the songs for one guitar, and the songs had to kind of keep evolving in a way that made sense for whatever the state of the band was at that time. So that's why Familiar Place, my part and his part are almost 100% identical.
So I was gonna say, when this is actually a good question for you both. So actually, this will be going for you, Nick. So Nick, if you were in a single guitar band, not even any other band, would your writing style be different than what you're doing with Andrew right now? It same goes for your Andrew and vice versa. I mean, you already kind of said it yourself. But what about you?
Not really.
Okay.
No. I think, generally speaking, I think anything I'm trying to figure out is like usually it's got to be a cool guitar part that lives on its own.
Okay.
So we're in a good spot where we're fortunate to have 2 guys, and it only benefits us because you can just have extra shit, or you can have stops, you can have you can kind of play with your stereo space a little bit more.
Dynamics are
not
more
even
fun.
necessarily just playing different parts, but just having one guitar do something and then the other person does nothing. That is just like
like the dynamic stuff.
Yeah, to have stop start dynamics and have this stuff that's to be able to kind of turn on a dime and do all this sort of shit that's fun and cool. So I mean, but ultimately no. I think it's got to work. It's got to work on its own.
Okay.
If you can play it by itself and it's cool, then great. I think if it absolutely needs like 50 pounds of shit piled on top of it, and I've been guilty of that before in like previous projects where it's just like, oh, this needs like 30 fucking guitar tracks. Like, no, it kind of doesn't though. Like, did it really? Probably not.
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe it's just okay. Maybe that just part wasn't that cool, and it's only cool because there's 30 fucking tracks on top of it.
Remember, studio recording is very different than live. So
This is true.
I mean, very different sort of ideology.
Lord knows I was playing catch up on this one,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was,
having to figure you out,
yeah.
get a handle on the songs, do small things to make it my own.
But because you really had to, had to jump face first into my style of playing because of the way the songs were written. It was,
Yeah.
I the biggest thing for me, and just to kind of answer Rogero's question on my side of things, I've always been in a band with two guitar players. Always. I've never been in a band with one guitar player. So I had Shadow, which had two. I had Better Unknown, which had two. I was in the Avenged cover band that obviously had two. We tried to start something on our own with same guitar player, so there was two there. Behind the Silence had two.
Yeah, you and Brett.
And obviously we have two now. So I've always been in the mindset of writing for two guitars. So there was always like, whether it be harmonies or the kind of stop-start stuff, there was always that kind of stuff in my writing. But because it was done by the same guy without much external influence,
Yeah.
it was a bit monotonous in some points. And like I said, when trying to evolve the songs in a way, it almost evolved them to a fault because he definitely struggled when it came to songs like Familiar Place.
Oh, I know.
Where, we had to find something to kind of pull away from that repetitiveness.
Yep.
But it was hard because that riff specifically, there's not really a lot of room for activity in that one.
No, it's not. So, I mean, that's how Brett wrote it. It's familiar, right? But
again, he also wrote it for he wrote it for one player. That's where the song gets weird.
Yeah.
He wrote it for one player,
That's
and
true.
he gave it to me.
Yeah.
I remember the first time we ever worked on it. It was me, him, and Ryan in my basement, and he brought it. He said, "All right, this is gonna be the first track for the the new thing," and he had pretty much all start to finish. And then when he quit, he gave me what he had, but he only had that one guitar.
one song,
So I had to kind of do what Nick did, where I had to adapt to what he gave me, and also try to spice it up and bring it to life a little bit more.
Yeah.
Then he left, so I'm like, all right, well, now I don't have to.
Yeah, because you added that. I don't know what you call it. The scale change at the end.
The key
The key
horrendously
change.
awkward key change,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So by the way, this is Familiar Place. I think is our longest recorded song ever. It's like 540.
painfully long.
It's long. Dude,
Is that our longest?
That
I
song needs
think
like
it
a
is.
minute
It's
and a
like
half
5
shaved out of it.
Yeah, actually, hold on.
Is that our longest song?
It might be.
If you pull up it will tell you the times.
I'll look. I'll check.
I think we might have one that's around the same time on Filmed on Location. No,
No.
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 No, it's 5.5 minutes.
Yeah, I think long.
Oh no, maybe not then.
No.
We do not have any songs that are 5.5 minutes on
Welcome
film. I'll tell
to-
you that right now.
If anybody's that's watching wants to make a list of things that changed immediately when Nick showed up, the
Songs
I
got
know,
fucking
right?
shorter.
songs
Yeah.
got a lot fucking
Yeah.
shorter when he
Now,
came
actually,
around.
and you know what? Now that you mention it, I'm really thinking back on all the bands that I've been in, and the huge majority have been one guitar bands, like World 9, the band that we had the video of, among others. I've been in a lot of fucking bands, and most of them were one guitar bands, with basically just like one exception. But I was also mostly I was a bass player.
That's
Yes, you were,
that's also
yeah.
true.
I started playing guitar first, but I just kind of like became everybody's bass player for like a couple of years because I was willing, first of all, and not just being like, it was that joke. It's just like, the bass player is just like, just the worst.
The guitar player that didn't make it.
You pick the worst guitar player out of the three guys.
Heard that one before.
And then therefore is your bass player. And there was definitely a point in time early on where that was fucking super true. I also just really I love playing bass. Not even a like, that's a love. I absolutely love playing bass, which is why, with writing and everything now, I really try to stay involved with the bass stuff. And that's like the thing that I'm excited to do when it's demo time is like get through all the ordeal of like playing guitar, where it's like, oh, fuck, this like hurts and sucks and is miserable. And like when those things are done, when those demo guitar tracks are printed and like, oh sweet, I get to play bass now. It's like the, it's like the nice ice cream sundae at the end of a dessert.
Well, that's how
Or
I
at
am
the
with
end of
drums, too, though,
a
so I
dinner
get it.
that is like rough,
That's how I am with drums. But the nice part about that is it's like we both have hands in guitar, and then you have your hands on the bass, and then I have my hands on the drums with Caruso. So it's like we kind of get to really meld everything kind of together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like I can play bass. I like played bass in like high school and stuff like that. But I can't write like interesting bass, and like I understand it now, but at the time like I didn't understand like how to make the bass fill the room if it makes sense.
Especially too when you're in a one guitar band, you're really working in a certain way where when it's a one guitar band, your job is also to be rhythm guitar. So you have to do something else, but then you also have to know, you got to really know when to lock in, and you got to really know when to like hang it back and fill out the space.
Yeah, see, I never really understood that.
And it was harder for you too, because I came in not knowing. No, it's I had no idea what I was doing. So I was kind of
credit where it's due to you, though, and
No,
this is true,
yeah,
and I've said this
you
before.
had to learn the whole ass instrument on top of learning songs that were way above your skill
I
level.
literally was thrown into, Trial by Fire. That's the same thing with my career I'm doing right now. I always
Freddy
say,
Krueger, your ass.
I got Freddy Krueger all right. Literally was like, all right, here we go. We're going to start recording. Like, what the? I remember that when we did the thing with Chris, when we recorded. I was, playing for 4 months? 3 months?
Did you play bass on the single, or did I do it? I don't remember.
We did the single. So I did. I think
The original mix,
the original
No
mix.
Boundaries mix.
I think there was some stuff in there. I think you kind of came in. I saw this is 7-8 years ago. I have no problem saying this. I think you had to come in with some other parts, which is so funny now looking back. I'm like, oh my god, how did I fuck up on this? But I literally came in not knowing. I know some basic sort of stuff and everything like that. But at the end of the day, you were writing the songs. You were showing Caruso of what you were trying to do and put his input. I'm literally watching you the whole time of like, all right, what's the root notes? What do you want me to do here? I can see why it was stressful for you. I could tell you. I remember that a lot during this record. This before you came in, you were getting burnt out. And now looking back, I can realize why.
Credit where it's due to you, though. You're a quick study.
Yeah, which is incredible.
So I appreciate it.
So you can I can show you something a couple of times, and you've got, at the very least, the gist of it enough to play it in the room.
Yeah, I got that.
And
part
then
down.
tighten up for recordings. And it's, and that's the thing is, not everyone is as kind of intuitive about stuff like that.
It's just so in the ears. So that's where my drumming. I was a drummer first. Yeah, but I know you remember you took me on a drum set. And, I would love to play drums again, but I've always came from the rhythm background. So I remember during the record on here, even we're recording, there were times where I didn't play parts that you guys doubled up on. I was following the drums. And that was a recommendation from both Brad, probably you two. I think it was a consensus form, and I just carried that over to filmed and just stuff like that for the low end sort of situation,
and that was
sort of deal.
That was and that exactly was the type of stuff that I wasn't good at. So that's where Nick kind of really came in and
exactly.
shined. And then my favorite thing was watching Nick try to tuck drums to Caruso because he can't do it at all. So that was one of my favorite things in the world. So he would like speak whatever bobbity boopy language he was trying to explain to Caruso.
Boop.
Ooga booga.
His fucking ooga booga drums, and then I would have to be like, all right, Caruso, here's what he actually means.
I'm not necessarily great at speaking drums all that much. I will say, as far as the bass stuff goes, and it was really what it came down to with this too was, and this goes for
I struggled a little bit on the record too. Remember recording those parts? Yeah.
Well, this goes for anybody too. And if you're listening to this and you're like trying to figure out like how to be a bass player in this kind of music with a 2-guitar kind of setup, it's like the answer is usually just play less notes.
True.
And that's more on bass.
That's
and
what
you'll
it
cut
needs.
through more.
Especially when it's like half of the battle is just having a good tone, right? Like, and that's it. Is if you can just sit and have like, especially too in our case too with like filmed, especially you got 2 guitars off, gone to wherever they're going on any given side at any given time. There really needs to be like a pretty rock solid fundamental up the middle, like a lot of the time. Right. And you can have your moments to do stuff that's cool, but a lot of that is just coming down to having a cool sound. If you've got a cool tone and like, usually just play with
Position
a
yourself
just play, just
right.
like
Yeah.
just play with a fucking pick and just have like
Well, for our stuff,
a
yeah.
big just have a big crunchy bass sound.
It'll come through.
Dude, that's like 90% of it.
Yeah.
Hit
know,
like
true.
half of the root notes and you're fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and it definitely worked out. And if you were to listen to like the way that I originally wrote the bass on Look the Part compared to what it was when we actually released it, it was definitely that like less is more type of thing.
Yeah, that's the first thing that makes a lot of small bands sound like super amateurish is like
Overplayed.
not only just shitty bass tones, but like guys that don't know where to sit, particularly if it's a 2-guitar band. Like if it's a 2-guitar band and you're just honking on the exact same thing as everybody else and not giving it space, like you can just smell a rat from fucking a mile away. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's
yeah.
like this is like amateur hour bush league
I mean,
shit.
Look at Cliff Burn. I mean, from like Kill 'Em All. You'll be surprised. I mean, it sounds really busy in the mix, really isolating it. There's a lot of sneaky things that those thrash guys do that I've been picking up on to make it sound, as a little tricks of the trade. That it's really not hard to do, but it just sticks out. Competing with these two over here and this one over here with their sounds, it may make me, cut through and everything like that. It's really not that hard.
You're the foundation of the band.
Exactly, baby.
Ultimately, is
Don't give him that
that's
kind of
what
confidence.
Thank you. So as
It's
we
true.
keep going. So Andrew, Water's Edge. Where the fuck did you get that from? I don't like that song. Even though I helped wrote it, I still don't like it.
So Water's Edge,
Not the personal.
that I don't remember exactly what inspired that one. I think that one was almost like a bigger dick contest with Brett for Forget Me Not on the Behind the Silence record, which I fucking absolutely love that song. If there's one song that I'm like, hey, if you want to check out what Behind the Silence did, listen to Forget Me Not. That I think was the best work that we did. Had the coolest drum parts, one of my favorite guitar solos that I've ever written. Really, really cool, like harmony riff at the end. I love that song. I think that one's really good. And so I think originally that one was kind of trying to one-up that one. Up until this band's point, every record that I had done had some type of slower track on it. So the Shadow of a Doubt record had Another Empire, which I was also very proud of. Behind the Silence had Forget Me Not. And so this one had Water's Edge.
Yeah.
And Water's Edge was a weird one.
So I helped out write that. Remember at the end, the dun that was
Yeah.
me because I was thinking Leper Messiah.
Yeah.
So there's actually a lot, some of me. So Nick can kind of
Now that
see
you're
where
saying
my
that,
little parts are
I
kicking
hear
in.
it.
So that's why, because I helped you, I attempted to help you try to fill in some sort of stuff because at the end of the second chorus we had to get some sort of breakdown and heavy riff and stuff like that. You had a solo. Yeah, the
I have to really listen to the record again.
It's been a while, I
just
know.
for giggles, just to kind
Yeah.
of see how I feel about it now. But I remember small details about the songs as far as playability.
Yeah.
But I like the part that you're talking about now. I don't remember.
No, yeah. So I go back to this. I get humbled. I like to go back and be like, yeah, that's that. This is where we originally came from and stuff like that. No, I remember that end part was I helped out for the swing, the dun 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 dun.
Yeah, that was
I know,
you
but I
did.
think it was either you and me where we have a little swingy part at the end for that. So you can see a lot of my thrashy. Yeah, I put the heavy quotes thrash influences. I try to be thrash in it.
I think you helped with
Legend of Tyrants too.
the pre-solo, the drum break in
Yes.
Legends too. I
Yep.
think it was like your idea, and then I kind of just put it together.
Which is, by the way, the drum break in that song, all of the same hits and emphasis as Car Chase City by Tenacious D.
Really?
Gee, I wonder where Caruso got his inspiration from.
It is. It's got the same. We'll listen to it after. You'll see.
That's funny. I didn't know that.
You're gonna laugh so fucking hard. So
One of go ahead.
on, sorry.
One little fun fact. Water's Edge was in a movie.
it was yes.
It was in a sex scene in a movie.
It was yes.
It was in,
yes.
The movie
Oh,
was
that's right.
It's called Obsidian, and if you want to see some titties while you listen to our music, there is the option to do that.
It's in a sex scene?
It is.
I
Did
knew
you
it was
not-
a
so you didn't
sex
see the
scene.
movie?
I knew it was in the movie. I didn't see the movie.
No,
So
me either.
I had no
literally,
idea
there
it
is a
was
scene in the
sex
movie where they start to love up on each other, the main character and the female, and in the background you start to hear the clean intro of Water's Edge.
That rocks.
Put that on.
I got the,
I
I
will
got the DVD. So
I definitely expected it to be like an end credits type of song, like Il
Yeah.
Nino and Freddy versus Jason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Erica, who was the create like the writer and the director, she did a really good job with the placement on that one. We had a lot of product placement in there too. We had like one of the old band shirts in there on the guy in the wheelchair. He wore a couple of the band shirts. I think.
Yeah.
I think he
Yes.
wore the skull one and a riff
Well,
one.
we sent them the shirts.
I'll
Yeah.
grab some screen grabs for the video.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a real good
So it was
one.
on a sex scene.
Water's
Yeah, right.
Edge. What's weird about Water's Edge and I've slight sidebar. I was listening to Avenged podcast. They just released a new episode about their song Cosmic, and they were saying how they were surprised that the fans gravitated to that track so much. And Water's Edge was the one that everybody wanted to hear. Which was weird.
Okay, so on my end, it's Legends and Tyrants.
I had both.
That's
but
what I got. Yeah.
dude, Rob, when he came to see us at Alchemy, he was like, "Please tell me you guys are going to play Legends and Tyrants." And I'm like, "Buddy,
No.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm like, man, that's not gonna happen.
So my whole family, some of them listen to metal. They are upset with me. Well, I guess all of you guys in general, that we don't play Legends and Tyrants anymore.
Tough shit.
well, it's because we have Black Blanket now, which is better."
I don't know, man. That's the one song from this EP that if we rejigger a little bit, change some lyrics and all that, the lyrics have to be changed.
No, if we're gonna
well,
play a
yes.
song off of this record,
Yes, but yeah.
if we're gonna play a song off this record again, it's gonna be The Collapse. That's the only one that I think I would put into our set now. Because I think that the vocal pattern could be fitting for Mike. Like the general style and like delivery that Eeyore gave on that one. I think that could be.
I see where he's coming from.
I think that could be kind of like good for Mike. And I also love playing that tapping part at the end of the song. That was real fun.
that was just your jerk off moment.
100%.
That's okay.
100%.
Well, he had his blast beat too. I know we were talking about giving him a blast beat too.
That was a cool part.
So
We should probably talk about the recording a little bit.
yeah, go ahead. Yes, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, so we did that record in so with Brad's space at the time was we in true mid 2000s mid aughts like metalcore fashion.
Oh, yeah.
In true youth group metalcore fashion, we recorded recorded this fucking thing in a church, which is great
Yeah,
because
that was cool. That was awesome. I like that.
He had the space, so his parents were like pastors and owned the space, so they had an annex building that he was using for his recording studio.
God, I hated going to the bathroom in that
deeply
place.
creepy.
That
I
sucked.
think you peed in the woods.
No, I went.
Oh, I just held it.
I took the fucking trip, man, but I hated it.
So it was very cold. So Narragansett, if you're not from around here, is right on the coast. We did this in like November.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
November.
because it snowed one of the days
It
that we
was
went. Yeah.
balls out cold. I went and pissed in the woods because I was
did.
so freaked out by going down into that dark ass church to use the pisser.
Yeah, it was fucked up.
I'm like,
dude.
I ain't going down there, man.
Wait,
I
was
hated
spontaneously combust in flames or something like that?
no,
or?
just spooky.
No,
it was just
it was.
spooky.
I'm just saying.
Dude, imagine walking into a big church
And the lights are off.
hall room, and all the lights are off.
That's true.
And you can kind of like barely see the other end of the building, you know?
I
Yeah,
thought it was
from
cool.
where you're-
But it was
You're,
it was
you're
quick
like a
pass.
horror guy. I thought
it's
you would love that.
Yeah, it's that's why it's creepy.
because we've seen things.
I've seen enough
here we
movies
go.
and that it was like, this is too spooky. And of course, Brad's kind of ragging. It's like, oh, you guys are babies, man. It's not that. Like,
Exactly.
It's creepy,
For a
man.
guy that we had just met, he was very part of the group and like very much understood who we
He
were.
loved us. Yeah,
He-
still do. Great dude.
Brad
I-
understood the assignment immediately.
Yeah, 100%.
The shit talk started immediately.
ASAP.
As soon as
Yeah.
the amps got plugged in,
Yep.
the shit talk
Yep.
began.
He loved it.
So
though.
how did you do the amps? Because I know there was a
Yeah.
lot of.
So we
Yeah.
did. We rolled in with our gear. Okay. So yeah, we'll do kind of like a quick recording rundown here. Is okay. So we rolled in with a bunch of our stuff. We didn't use it all.
I didn't use mine at all.
Yeah, we found that you had a 6505 at the time that was really noisy.
Yeah.
It had like a ton of signal noise that we couldn't really figure out why at the time. I think it was that the because those amps are a little spotty sometimes, is the effects loop jacks were getting a little rusty. So we had to crank a bunch of deoxide into it like later on when it like not too long after that. I think that amp stopped working altogether and we had to like troubleshoot it a bunch to get it working again.
Almost, yeah.
So
something like
it
that.
was so noisy that we were kind of like, all right, maybe this isn't going to work. So we used like
It was a Black Star.
it was Brad had a Black Star head that was like in the Marshall kind of family that you ended up using for everything. I used it maybe a touch. I had a Jet City at the time, which is like a Soldano copy. That was cool. I was using that for a while until it blew up.
Didn't I use something different for the leads?
No, I think you may have either just slightly dialed or a different guitar maybe, or maybe
I remember
you
using
either
the Evertune LTD for Legends.
Yeah, you played one of my guitars for a little bit. We either dialed something a little bit different, or you might have played my Jet City.
Maybe.
It was one. I think it was one or the other. It was really just those two. We didn't fuck with different tones really at all. It was just a couple of songs. 2 songs were in a different tuning, and that was it. But we swapped guitars like maybe once each.
And we brought so many.
We brought a bunch of stuff.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
we brought 2 racks full of guitars.
Yeah.
And we only used like 3 of them.
I played 2 guitars. You played one of mine and one of yours, I think, and that
I
might have been it.
I think I had the Blackjack back
Yeah.
then with the Sustainiac.
I guess it technically would have been 3 for me because I had a Tele kicking around that was for the Legends. So
Yeah.
that was probably, I think that was it. And then amp wise, I think beyond that, there was like a solid state like Fender that was in the studio that you used for the clean bits on
for
Waters.
Water's Edge. Yeah.
I think I dialed you a real quick and dirty like weird like shimmer verb kind of sound on you.
I had the pod.
You had a Pod HD at the time, so we just kind of like threw together something spacey for that part to make it really expansive. Bass was all plug-in.
Plug-in. That's all we did. All
Bass
plug-in.
was software.
Yep, all software. And then drums was
Caruso, you used your
kind of
Yamaha kit then, didn't you?
No, it was kind of I think that was like a borrowed kit. That was like the house kit.
I thought I thought you brought the Yamaha with you. I thought we used that one for most of it.
It came in, but it didn't get used.
You sure about
I
that?
got video.
I don't remember. It could go either way. Yeah.
I think it was your snare,
your
and then
snare.
everything
I
else
remember
was
you brought your snare.
everything else was house. I want to say.
I have a picture of the drum setup. I can see if I can find it.
It was pretty quick and dirty. I mean, we rolled in and like did most everything in just like a few days.
You know what's funny?
No, it was like a week, I think, like 5 days.
Nah,
5 days,
5 days
yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
There's some GoPro footage that's I think hiding in the drive somewhere that we could probably we'll have to use
The hilarious gang vocals that we didn't keep.
Well, they're in there. They're just low.
There's
Oh, I thought we
yeah.
got rid of them completely.
They're real low. You can't really
Shit.
hear them very well, but they were goofy. They were wicked goofy, and it wasn't very good.
No, it was fucking dumb. Here's my favorite part about this entire record. I forgot a part in Legends and Tyrants. I had a lead part in that song
forgot
in the
about
second
that.
verse that I just
did.
straight up didn't fucking record.
Yep.
I remember we got the final mix. We were like going back and forth with Brad on the mixes, and I didn't notice it. And then we got the final mix, and we're sitting in my car because I think you lived with me at that point.
I did. Yeah. Yeah.
And we're sitting in my car listening to the mix, and I just go, "Oh fuck!"
Oopsie.
And you're like, "What? What's the matter?" I'm like, "I completely forgot the fucking lead section.
I don't know what that section was.
It was the octave chords
Yeah.
over the second verse."
Yeah, you were
Oh,
really just
that's
holding out a
right.
couple of. It was like
I was moving. I had like a
Were
whole
you?
octave
You were, like,
melody on
shifting
there.
around?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
So it wound up being just a live thing at that point. But yeah, no, I straight up fucking forgot the part. Not only did I didn't look the part, I forgot the part, and I fucking felt like such an idiot. Like I said, it wound up making it look like it was like a purposely done like live only thing, but no, that was just me being fucking dumb.
it definitely would have. I think helped that song along a little bit.
Yeah,
I think
it
it would have
needed
been
it.
pretty beneficial.
'Cause that
A
second
little
verse-
repetitive.
Yeah, that second verse is like real dry.
Yeah,
after
always
the
tack something on the next time around. That's just like pop songwriting 101. But
Yeah.
beyond that, I think was there much else that was like kind of noteworthy about the recording?
Just the board. Oh, remember you had the board. You had
you had the whiteboard.
The whiteboard
Yeah.
that you had. I think there's a photo around there hiding
Yeah.
somewhere. That's pretty funny.
We gutted
Yeah, I have
we gutted the lyrics. We did a lot of surgery, and they're
Yes.
still not very good. But we got that was kind of the beginning of like me doing like lyric stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sat down with Eeyore and you
We
kind of like
were
slapped him
kind
on
of
the
having
wrist a
this
lot.
conversation about like, all right, I want you to print everything out and show it to me because I want to know what I'm like backing up here, you know. And boy, what I got was rough. It was real rough, and things got, you know, it was a true turd polish in like every sense of the word, right? Like it's serviceable. Now, still not very good.
And in Eeyore's defense too, like the bit, I don't know lyrics at all. So like he would just send me the lyrics, and I'd be like, yeah, all right, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I definitely kind of made him develop
It
demoitis.
was definitely something where there were some conversations about like
Well, there was tension. I think he had
He
like
didn't- he
take
didn't
a break
like
or
that.
something. No, you and him
he
had a
did
bit
not.
of a. That was probably the beginning of the.
no.
bashing of
He
the
was
heads.
he was pretty receptive, but I remember just like being firm but like fair about it. But like, listen, man.
The
like-
push-ups. That's what it was. You made him run. Okay.
We'll
No, the
get
jumping jacks.
we'll get there. Is with that situation. There was like when we were redoing the lyrics. There's like stuff where it was Water's Edge was about like beating up a guy that bullied him in high school. I'm like, brother, you are pushing 30. We got to do better than this.
yeah, it was
You know,
something like
we
that,
can we can like get to the root. We can get to the essence of this, but have it be like written by an adult man.
have him be more general and stuff.
You know,
too, yeah.
and have that be like just somewhere in the same neighborhood. Or I mean, there was stuff that's like still not the beginning of the first song is nonsense.
the talking thing.
It's a Jesse Leach impression, and it is nonsensical.
Well, you can
you
see
know
where
what, like
influence come-
the spoken word thing.
Yeah,
and
it doesn't really
clarity,
mean,
right?
Yeah, it doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, that's where influences came from.
Which I mean, again, we fixed a lot of the rest of that tune. Legends and Tyrants, I ended up just kind of like letting it happen, where it was, it's way less so now in the state that it's in, but it's like, oh, the song's about like homeless veterans, and I just remember like, what is this fucking relevant to your life in any way? Why are you writing songs about
Well,
shit
okay.
that doesn't mean anything to
Okay,
you?
well, here's the thing. That is where the Remember Who You Are Part 2 comes in. Because that song had to do with it was about two brothers.
Yeah.
That song had to do with one of the brothers that went to war. So that song was originally written with the intention of being part of that concept record.
Right.
So that's why that one was in like that super weird fucking angle.
Yeah.
That's why.
Like,
It was because
what's
it
this
had,
about and why?
it was because it had a purpose at one
I mean,
point,
what's
and then
that?
you just never
what was
changed
that
it.
even for? It's like what do you like? How is? Do you know anything about this, or is this just like just a topic you threw a dart at?
Yeah, it was him trying to tell a part of the story that I don't even think we had written yet musically. So
Sure.
that explains why that one specific. I'll defend him on that one because that one specifically had a purpose that he carried into this record in this band, which at that point didn't make any sense. But originally, it did have a purpose.
Yeah. To his credit, I suppose he was like pretty receptive to like adjusting things.
He
which,
was.
Which I mean,
Yeah.
we were doing rewrites like up to and including being in the studio.
Correct.
At
Yeah,
that
we were
point.
writing things in the studio.
Where I was looking at stuff and realizing that it was like, oh my God, this is like, there's this one line that's like a grammatical fucking nightmare. We got to fix this. Where they were like, there's just like, oh my God, we got to fix this. This can't go to tape. Like it can't.
Yeah, we cannot release this in such a state. Yeah,
I made him do jumping jacks
That was his favorite.
to liven up his takes at one point, and
it worked because the next song he recorded was The Collapse, and it was the best vocal take on the record.
And
Correct.
he cried about it for a year.
That's true.
Well,
Unfortunately, that is true.
Yeah.
But that fucking vocal take was real good, though. So
that's all it took.
that was a put up or shut up moment. and
You
he
fucked my
fucking
knee
shut
up, dude. Good.
I mean, I think that's kind of it. I think I don't think that there's really anything else super.
I would just say, just on it was just, at least for me, it was just a good building block of just what the studio was. I think learning you guys, like you and Nick and Crusoe, but even you, because I knew you like as a friend, but not in a musical sense, and that was important for me.
Yeah, that record, I think,
that's
and,
right, yeah.
and ultimately too, like, as far as, and there's always stuff you wish you could do differently, like there were missing
All the time.
parts.
Oops.
I think the mix maybe suffered from like time and budget kind of constraints, where it's like in hindsight, it's like, okay, I don't really like the drum sound. The guitar sounds are kind of over compressed. Like the bass is a little lost in the sauce. The vocals sound great.
The
But-
drum intro in Chasing Clarity sounds like it has Saint Anger snare drum,
I know,
Just a touch,
I
yeah.
love it.
which was my fault because I should have caught that and I didn't.
It's okay. I mean, but you do what you can also, and it was, and I think it was a necessary evil where it was like, let's get this done and get it out, and it was a jumping point to like moving forward.
Yeah, you know what? I will say for what it was, and for it being that like necessary evil and that like learning curve and that learning experience for all 5 of us, we got a really good response to it.
Yeah, I
and a
had
lot
fun.
of people definitely gravitated towards it, and we were able to kind of make our statement live.
It put us on the map. Yeah.
It did. It did. I will say that, we had to do it to get to film on location because number one, I needed to learn to write with somebody else again, and I also had to learn a completely different style from everybody. This wasn't just a Nick thing. This was a Caruso thing. This was a you playing bass thing because you didn't have a style. We had to find one.
I had to learn you. I definitely remember, particularly, I think my big eureka or light bulb on this record was I had to really adjust my own playing as far as like I had to pick less hard in general. If we're talking about like overall kind of guitar playing, I was coming at it the way that I was, and I now, learning those songs, it was occurring to me that I was really, really hurting my hands from trying to play that stuff to speed.
I think that record gave you carpal tunnel.
As hard as it was.
did. You were right the thing.
Did.
Yes.
Yeah. Playing on those songs like live, I had to like take my strings down a gauge. I had to I still am a hard picker, and more so to my credit now, I think it works a little bit better. But I was like really severely full force overdoing it on like, and I gave myself carpal tunnel in the course of like doing that record, and spending and playing the shows kind of surrounding it.
I broke your jerk off wrist.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I mean, that's it.
I'm not ashamed of it.
No.
It's a good start. I mean, this was 6 years ago. We started this stuff.
It's still on Spotify for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can listen to it. Like I said,
Still out
it's
there.
my mother's still favorite song. If that means anything. But check it out.
Go check out the sex scene with Water's Edge in it.
Yes, which we got to go find that at some point.
But I mean, that's the discography, man. That's it. 7 episodes in.
For now.
That's a discography for now. If you listen to all these episodes, any of these episodes, we appreciate it. And we're going to start bringing some guests on. We're going to start kind of diving into other people's bands and other people's music and writing process.
Especially here in the Providence scene.
Yeah, and then just kind of being a little extra stupid. We'll do some more bits and kind of take this podcast out of being just a Mighty Fall branded thing. This is going to kind of be a general podcast now, but thank you for listening to all of these episodes.
So formal.
And I'm sure we'll do more as singles come out and new records come out, but onward and upward to the next episode and to guests coming on.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yee.
Yeet.
Yeet.
Yeet. Yeah.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Love you all.